Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
It was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
Welcome back to the DCFU podcast, and we got an exciting one today. The new Superman trailer has been released, and I'm over the moon about it. I think this is the best Superman's ever looked. This is a more true to comics, like accurate Superman. Best Lex Luthor I think we're ever going to get is going to happen with Nicholas Hoult. It mixes the corniness, the comedy, and the sincerity that comes with Superman. It mixes all that together to give you an honest take at the character. It's not trying to be anything else. It's not trying to be a grounded, dark, serious version of the superheroes. It's trying to be what we all relate to. You know, it's trying to be the Superman that we've all seen in the comics. And, you know, I personally love it. There's tons of people that have seen the trailer that love it online and stuff. And most people are having the same reaction. They can feel the hope. They can feel the optimism that is in this trailer that's with the Superman. It really feels like a fresh new start for DC on film. Because this really is the first time we're getting Superman done right. You know, done as he's supposed to be. For someone like me, someone who's just entered into their 30s, you know, I can remember the Superman animated series. I can remember Metamorpho in that series and, you know, that emotional episode with him and Superman. And when I see the shots of Metamorpho in this trailer, it tells me that the filmmakers really care. You know, they've done their homework and they're probably seeing Superman through the same lens that I've seen Superman through. And that's what makes me even like extra excited for this. And even if it, you know, box office wise, even if it comes out and completely tanks, we'll still have the Superman movie. You know, we'll still have a comic accurate Superman movie. They're already almost done with the Supergirl movie, Woman of Tomorrow. So, you know, we're getting that movie regardless of whether or not Superman does good or bad. But in order for us to get, you know, more of this DC goodness, Superman has to do really good. And right now, the rumored tracking is $175 million opening weekend. Domestically, which is huge. It's really big. It'd probably be the biggest post-pandemic opening for a movie ever. And that's really lofty expectations. I don't expect it to get that high. You know, Avatar Way of the Water, I don't even think made over $120 million its opening weekend. And that film did $1 billion, easy. So I think it has less to do with how big your opening weekend is. It has more to do with the legs the movie has, how big the drop the second weekend is. Because as we all saw, you know, this year, historically, Sinners had like a 1% drop. Like it was pretty much everybody that saw it opening weekend went back and saw it again the second weekend. And that really doesn't happen. That's like super rare for a film to have virtually no drop. And you have the same amount of people showing up for 2 weekends in a row. That's probably not going to happen with the Superman movie. That doesn't happen with any movie, really. But hopefully, your second weekend drop for Superman isn't too big, and they can make a lot of money, you know? You don't need $175 million opening weekend. Will it make over $100 million? Hopefully. That's the hope. It makes over $100 million opening weekend. It doesn't have a big second weekend drop, and it has legs, and it gets close to that $1 billion mark. I think that's very possible. The amount of eyeballs that have seen this Superman movie, starting with the first teaser trailer, which did huge numbers. The only other trailers that got more views was like Avengers Endgame, and that movie made like $3 billion. And then you had genius marketing with the Minecraft movie, you know, a movie I didn't think was going to make $1 billion, and it's about to get to $1 billion right now. I didn't think it was going to make that much money. The movie's not that good, but they went ahead and put a 5-minute reel of Superman in front of Minecraft. So now everybody that saw Minecraft saw Superman, and they saw the first like 5 minutes of the Superman movie. Another film that was really famous for doing that was The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. I believe they showed the first few minutes of both those films in front of other films. And that's definitely something a studio does if they're confident in a movie, that they don't feel like they need to hide it at all. They're just going to show you the first 5 minutes of the movie, which I think is a great way to get people into the theater, because that was a great 5 minutes to see the movie. And now we have a brand new trailer that actually shows us more of what the movie's about. And it looks amazing. You know what I'm saying? I love the whole interview with Superman, harkening back to the first Superman movie with Christopher Reeves. And you actually get to see Lois Lane being, a journalist and actually challenge Superman to his face. And, that's stuff you didn't get at all in, the Snyder movies. Unless, Lois was naked in a bathtub. Then you might get some of Lois talking back to Superman. The only thing I really worry about with this new Superman movie is the online trolls from the Snyder camp that are going to try to do everything they can to tank the movie. Everything they can to spread memes and, get in every forum to spread the toxicity. But then again, that's just a corner of the internet that I see a lot. Because I used to be a part of those dumb Snyder fans. I've since defected from them. Because they really weren't about, DC movies. They're just about whatever Snyder's doing. And that's fine and all, but go support Snyder movies. I mean, you clearly didn't with Rebel Moon or Army of the Dead. They don't support those movies. They don't talk about any of those movies. They just keep talking about his DC Batman Superman movies. Any Snyder fans want nothing to do with any other Snyder movie. And they're trying their damnedest to tank James Gunn's Superman. It's not going to work. I think everybody sees right through it. And everybody that's watching this trailer with, a clear head, sees a really good movie. Sees something that's fun, that's energetic, that breathes new life into the Superman character. Makes him more modern, more relatable, especially with that crypto dog. That dog is what's going to put this movie over $1 billion. that crypto dog is what's going to take this movie over the top. And I really hope James Gunn does not kill that dog. That would suck. But that probably would be the most epic moment in any comic book movie history. If Crypto got killed. Just saying, That's just a theory. A comic book theory. I have a few different theories about what this movie's going for. Obviously, the Metamorpho thing. He's going to start off, making a kryptonite to take out Superman. And then Superman is going to befriend him. And then he'll probably make some kind of yellow sun energy that will heal Superman. And Metamorpho is going to help Superman out. That's how Superman's probably going to come back at the end. That kind of stuff is pretty obvious. Just the second you see Metamorpho, you already know the story that's going to happen. If you've actually, watched the Superman animated series and stuff like that, you kind of already know the direction they're going there. But also, you see constant images of a guy in a black suit with the Ultraman logo on his chest, straight out of the Crime Syndicate. From Earth, I forget, what was it, Earth 3 or something like that? Earth 2, I forget. And then you get, the Peacemaker trailer, which was excellent as well, but that showed another Peacemaker from a parallel reality of some kind. That's what I think James Gunn might be going for. Not so much, all the multiverses and, we get 1,000 Earths and stuff like that, but just focusing on the Crisis on 2 Earth storyline, where we get the Crime Syndicate. Somehow, Lex Luthor's found a way to pull the Crime Syndicate into our world. And it would also make sense for the Peacemaker show, because Peacemaker runs into another version of himself that's the hero of his own world. And what world could Peacemaker be the hero on? It would be the Crime Syndicate world. That would make the most sense as to, Peacemaker actually being a hero. It would be in the Crime Syndicate world, because Peacemaker's not really a good guy. In our Earth, in the Peacemaker show that we're watching, he's evolved into a good guy. But he didn't start that way. He started as a guy killing men, women, and children in the name of peace. That's how he starts in our world. And in the Crime Syndicate world, he probably would be one of the top heroes, right? For doing just that, right? So we know there's going to be some kind of parallel reality thing happen. I think Ultraman being in the movie kind of proves that. And I think it would be awesome if they pulled off Ultraman's mask and it looked just like Henry Cavill or something like that. Or maybe it just looks just like David Cornsweet. It's just a parallel reality version of him. But I think it would be extra awesome if it was Henry Cavill under that mask and they kept it a secret this whole time. That would be amazing. More likely than not, though, it's probably just going to be another version of David Cornsweet from the Crime Syndicate world. But we also have to remember that this is Superman, so we got to think about the Phantom Zone and things like that, which is not a parallel reality. It's like a space in between space. It's kind of like a prison they put people in because you don't age, you don't need to eat. You're just stuck in the Phantom Zone forever. So they're going to have to introduce that at some point. We're going to have to see how that ties into everything. I mean, just so many things this movie can do, so many directions it could go. Just makes me more excited to watch it because, we've had, enough footage of this movie that I'm good. I can just go in and watch it. Even this last trailer, it was a bunch of footage and we kind of have an idea what the movie's about, but I don't really know the sequence of events that's going to happen, right? I don't really know exactly how this movie's going to turn out. I don't know what the ending's going to be at all. I don't know how we're going to get there. But just based off what I've seen, it's going to be a fun ride. It's going to be entertaining to watch for sure. And hopefully it succeeds. Just like that trailer, I'm very optimistic about the future of these DC movies after seeing the Superman trailer. The Superman movie itself looks like an optimistic, fun movie, which is right in line with what Superman should be. I just hope it's not like too jokey and kiddie and all the serious moments are undercut by some joke. I really hope they don't do that. I feel like James Gunn knows that. I feel like he's not an idiot. He is self-aware, as seen by all his responses on Twitter. This guy's very self-aware, and he's aware of what the audience thinks about his movies. He ain't no dummy. All right, he's gonna figure it out. That's it for now. Everybody, let me know what you think of the Superman trailer. I thought it was brilliant. Loved it. Loved all the shots. I can't wait to see the movie. The action looks incredible. Looks like it is going to have some emotional moments. And I feel like the dog, Crypto, is probably going to steal the show. And it's going to be the reason, a new generation of fans gets born as Superman fans. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that dog is going to be make or break it for the movie. People are going to fucking love Crypto probably after the movie. Or they're going to hate that dog and they're never going to watch the movie again. Tough to tell. But I feel like, yeah, that's going to be the highlight of the movie. Anyway. That's it for now. Comment below, let me know what you think, and we'll see you in the next DCFU podcast, probably right before Superman comes out, and then we'll have a whole spoiler discussion about the movie. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
You have a dog?